Two planes of the Navy's Blue Angels Precision Flying Team crashed today near the Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. A spokesman there said one man was killed and two injured. Two other planes in the team landed safely at the base.
We left Pensacola, of course, I think it was probably a Thursday. That would have been typical. And we had to stop at Oceana to refuel. And then it was discovered that the right wingman's airplane had some sort of hydraulic problem. So we left him behind and flew on to Lakehurst with 5 airplanes, and the slot pilot moved up to the right wing for the arrival maneuvers. So we did the usual arrival maneuver thing, we had aero photographs, of course, of the air show site and checkpoints that we'd identified, mile-and-a-half checkpoints and other visual checkpoints on the ground, located all those, and that was all normal. And then we came in for what was then a little V roll, which is one of the simplest maneuvers that the Blues fly. The start of the maneuver was normal. We got the noses up and the boss started the roll. Everything appeared to be normal, and when we got inverted, we later learned that we were a little lower than normal at that point and a little slower than normal at that point for some reason. We continued the roll. And then the boss made the call, which was unusual, keep it rolling. And of course, since the slot pilot was on the right wing and the left wing's job is to match the position of the right wingman, the slot pilot was flying a slightly different position than the right wingman if he had been there, which changes the aerodynamic loop that the boss feels. And so he felt the need to make the call, keep it rolling. To speed up the roll. What that means is that the left wingman drops a little further away, goes deep on the left wing of the lead, and the right wingman gets a little closer, and the aerodynamic loops help push the airplane around to keep the roll going. So we did that, and then the next call we heard was it's going to be low, don't sag, which is a very unusual call. You've never heard that before. And then the next call was, it's really going to be low, and again, don't sag, meaning, keep your position, don't go deep. And then what I remember is in my peripheral vision, I saw something that just was a little darker than what would have been normal, and then all of a sudden I saw a flash on the right side of the formation. And then a little bit of a PIO, or a little oscillation of the right wingman, and then the lead airplane shuddered a little bit and then started to roll towards me. And at that point, I broke out of the formation, called clear, pulled the nose up, rolled inverted. Once I got the nose high, rolled inverted to see what was going on. And it turns out that what had happened was that the crew chief of the airplane on the right wing ejected at the very bottom of this maneuver, and it turns out we were flying through the tops of pine trees, and so he thought we were going to crash. He initiated ejection, and then apparently the number 2 airplane and the lead airplane collided, and that apparently started the roll towards me, and then I got out of the formation. That roll of the lead airplane continued for 360 degrees, and then the lead initiated ejection at about 90 degrees, right wing down, rolling to the left. The crew chief came out of the airplane, wings level, and then the boss came out of the airplane, started to come out of the airplane, but never got seat man separation or any of that. The crew chief, we were apparently so low that the crew chief that did eject from the lead airplane actually went through the top of pine trees, never got seat man separation, hit the ground in the ejection seat, then he got seat man separation, and he stood up and walked away from it. It was absolutely a miracle. I mean, it cannot be described in any other way. You cannot survive something like that, and he did. Unfortunately, the slot pilot was killed. He later crashed some mile and a quarter away. The lead, of course, was killed as well. So really, really a tragic day for the Blue Angels, and certainly for me. That event, along with some other conditions with both the Air Force Thunderbirds and for us, caused Congress to call for an investigation as to whether or not the mission is really worth the expense and certainly the loss of life that sometimes does happen. And as it turned out, the training command, Senator Hubert Humphrey was the senator who initiated the investigation into both demonstration teams. And the training command, not the recruiting command in the Navy, had statistics that showed whenever the Blue Angels came into an airshow site, that the recruitment and actual contract signing of both officer and enlisted people went so far off the charts that it couldn't even be charted on the charts. And they concluded that to achieve the same recruiting results, it would, if you use conventional advertising, conventional means, would have cost much more than the budget that is required to operate the team. So, the Congress made the decision, yeah, this is a worthy mission, and it's really the cost-benefit analysis shows that it is certainly worth continuing. And so we did, and that's when the Navy decided that the Blue Angel, at that time, the Blue Angel organization was a flight demonstration team and not a squadron. And as a result of that, there's certain things that squadrons rate, like an assigned flight surgeon, that we would benefit from if we became a squadron. So that decision was made. Flight surgeon was assigned to us full time. Part of the accident investigation concluded that there was some fatigue that potentially could have contributed to the accident at Lakehurst, and because of the schedule that we had for 6 weeks prior to going to Lakehurst. So that's when we became a squadron, and it was, you know, the Navy then, oh, by the way, at that time, both the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, both of which were flying F-4s at the time, were told that they have to fly a more fuel-efficient airplane. The reason for that was the oil embargo in 1973 had created a situation where people in the Northeast and in California couldn't get gas to drive to work. It just wasn't available. And so we were always greeted by the media at every airshow site when we're flying F-4s and asking how much fuel does this thing burn, or how much do we in an airshow burn. And in the F-4 we were burning 10,000 pounds per airplane, per airshow. And of course it was jet fuel and couldn't be used in a car, but nonetheless that was there was a high level of interest in availability of fuel at the time. And so that was another catalyst or reason that Congress mandated that we change both the Thunderbirds and the Blues to a more fuel-efficient airplane. Thunderbirds went to a T-38 and we went to the A-4.